This option allowed me to stay in Germany for 6 months to look for a job. In this video, I'm going to break down costs as they come in going in Germany, and that's divided into 3 sections. Feel free to navigate to the section you need to revisit again. Let's get started. There are some important requirements that you need to know about. Post-graduation or residency is a job. You come here to look for it. Once you have a job offer, everything will become easy. That's going to be your main goal. I applied for a job seeker's visa. It's a type D or a national visa. This option allowed me to stay in Germany for 6 months to look for a job. Getting your documents verified is an essential step to getting a visa, and that ensures that only qualified doctors get to go to Germany. For verification of my documents, I had to pay 25,000 rupees German embassy in New Delhi. The money is then used to hire a lawyer firm, verify your documents at source. That it can take up to 3 months. Current price in New Delhi is 28,000 rupees. In Mumbai, it's 45,000. Costs vary largely from state to state. Be sure to check the website of the German embassy for the current prices. Linked in the description below, so you can directly click on it. Regardless of which visa you apply for, you are expected to bring money in a blocked account. Not blocked as in stopped, but blocked as in money will be released to you in a fixed amount in blocks to ensure you will be able to pay for your daily needs, including food, transportation, housing in Germany. I applied for a job seeker's visa. When I came here, it was 750 euros per month. It's 5 years ago. So due to inflation, the price has gone up. 934 euros a month times 5,604 euro, which is going to be half of what you have to take if you apply for a student visa. I, for one, learned German up till C1 level in India before I started planning to come here. Currently in India, Deutsche Bank or Kotak Mahindra Bank open a blocked account. There are also some online providers. I'm gonna link those service providers also in the description below, so feel free to check them out. Not sponsored, something I found in my research, and I feel it'll be helpful for you to know those options before you decide. Hospitation played a significant role in my journey, similar to the internship that we have to do after final year exam. Every morning, take part in the management of a patient. If you go in a surgical department, encouraged to join in the operation. It's a brilliant way to check if this is the subject you want to do in German, because departments run very differently in comparison to how they ran in India. It's great to have that orientation before you make a decision. I chose to do hospitations when I came here. The entire duration of 6 months, I chose general surgery, heart surgery, neurosurgery for 2 months each. At the end of this hospitation, I was able to join my job as general surgery resident. Think about it. You're in the department every single day. You get to learn how the nurses work, who's the department head, if they have a job opening. And the moment you get to know that, you can apply. How brilliant is that? Remember to look for a hospitation. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button that you are constantly updated on any future videos I might release on the topic. Flights are often the most significant expense that you will have to make in one go. I booked my flight on Lufthansa Airways, Delhi to Munich and then to Hamburg. The total cost was 47,000 rupees. This fare allowed me to take one checked-in baggage of 23 kilos and one hand luggage of 8 kilos. Be careful with the weight limits, because they can be very finicky. Make sure that you weigh your bags before you head out for the airport, at your home on a weighing scale, or at your local Atta Chakki. I would also recommend you to use Google Flights and research different flights from different dates and have a little bit of flexibility. And if you have no other flexibility or option, you'll have to book an extra luggage bag, which you can also do at the check-in counter for 200 euro one bag. The second charge that you have to take care of while traveling is the moment you arrive, getting from the airport to your apartment. I would highly recommend you take a taxi, available to you very easily the moment you step out of the airport. Just tell them where you want to go, open Google Maps on your phone and just watch where you go. Depending on which airport and how far it is going to be, somewhere around 30 to 40 euros. You're gonna have so many bags and you're gonna be tired after this long journey. I highly recommend in the new city, first time that you are, to make a good experience and spend those 40 euros. Getting exciting now. You're already in Germany, so what can you expect to spend there? All the costs that you have now in Germany will be recurring. The money that you took in your blocked account is the money you're going to be using every month. I was able to survive on the money I took in my blocked account, optimizing how I spend that money. So make sure you listen till the very end and do these things too. The first would be finding the right apartment. After much searching online, found one for me which was very near to the University Clinic of Hamburg. It was around 3.5 kilometers. There was a direct bus station which was half a kilometer away from my home, and it cost me 520 euros a month. Also had to deposit 800 euros for security reasons. It is refundable. I could quit this apartment lease within a month's notice, which is not the standard time which is legally obliged. If you were to rent a home, is 3 months before you get to move out. You need to plan ahead. There are some websites I did find in my research, and I will be sharing them in the description down below, so feel free to check them out. What I can recommend you in your research is Google the name of your city, followed by a space, followed by Wohnung, means apartment, or WG, short for Wohngemeinschaft. I was staying in a WG, that's why it cost 520 euros a month. Otherwise, it would cost me a lot more. And make sure that the kitchen is included in your lease. Otherwise, you would end up spending a lot of money on food, and we don't want to do that. Which brings us to the next point. I recommend learning to cook. Ask your mother, ask your grandmother, ask your sister. In the time leading up to you leaving for Germany, make sure you learn a few of the dishes you're used to eating at home. Not only would that be very comforting for you, thousands of kilometers away in Germany when you're sitting alone and missing home, which you will, and I did too. It's very comforting if I could cook dal, aloo gobi, or palak paneer, or rajma chawal. Those things made me very happy, thinking of my mother, my father, my sister, and the times we shared together. But not only that, you end up saving a lot of money. Shopping once a week, I would suggest Saturday. Sundays, the supermarkets are closed. Make a list of the things that you need, because otherwise you'll go on a shopping spree and blow up your money. To stores like Aldi, A-L-D-I, or Lidl, L-I-D-L. In my opinion, 50 to 75 euros a week, around about 200 to 300 euros a month is more than enough if you're cooking just for yourself. The third thing that you're going to be spending a lot on is getting around. Not only would you be going every single day for hospitation, at the same time applying for interviews or register yourself in the city center, because German cities require you to register yourself in the first 2 weeks when you enter the new country, or other termine or appointments that you might have. Either you can cycle there, or you can take a bus. If you want to cycle that, and that is what I'm going to suggest to you, you can rent out a cycle for 20 euros a month in Germany by using swap feet. Cycling is the best way to explore, get to know the city, get from point A to point B the fastest and the cheapest at any hour in the day or night. However, you don't like cycling. The second option, getting a reduced price ticket for the public transport. And the first day when you're there to sign your documents and sign a contract for your hospitation, you can also ask for a reduced price transportation card issued for you, and that costs around 50 euros a month, which then lets you take unlimited buses, trains. Those are the two ways that you can transport yourself from point A to point B, but really consider taking bicycle. Now, all the links and all the information that I've shared with you can be overwhelming to look at in one go, and to make navigation easy, this video is divided into chapters, so feel free to navigate that at any section at any time you want. To make it easier to access, I've also put the links, the respective links down below in the description. Just feel free to check it out. I'm not sponsored by any of these. These are the things that I use and found very helpful, so I want to share it with you. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you haven't yet subscribed, hit the subscribe button if you want to know more, so that you're the first one to get updated. If you have any questions, feel free to write them down in the comment section, and I will get back to each and every one of them. Hope to see you again. I'll see you in the next one.